Hello everybody, it's Non-Scene News here, and today we've got some breaking news coming from Belarus. So let's just start. So in Belarus, Lukashenko has responded to the sudden increase of Ukrainian troops that have been on the Belarusian border here. Lukashenko has stated the situation on the Belarusian-Ukrainian border is escalating due to the arrival of the Russian contingent in Belarus to participate in the parade. If you didn't know, this is Belarus is celebrating the Independence Day of Belarus. So this is in honor of the 80th anniversary of liberation of Belarus from Germany during World War II. So within this parade, they obviously showed off a bunch of military equipment they have. So they showed off their S-300 air defense systems. They also showed off a couple of drones and aircrafts. So pretty big. So probably one of the biggest news today is coming from Kiev. So if you didn't know, Prime Minister Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, and President Zelensky of Ukraine both met in Kiev. And Zelensky said he and Orban discussed how to bring about a just and lasting peace. In the video published by the presidential office, Orban can be heard at the beginning of the meeting telling Zelensky that he wants to hear your vision of chances for peace. So after the meeting, Orban stated that he had proposed to Zelensky a ceasefire to start negotiations with Russia. It has not been released yet, so very interesting nonetheless, but we just got news now that Ukraine unfortunately rejected Orban's proposal for a ceasefire. This was stated by the deputy head of the office of the president of Ukraine. So Viktor Orban's peace ceasefire has been rejected by Ukraine. Very interesting though, but we also got news coming from Hungary that Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, and the Hungarian foreign minister have had a phone call. The Russian foreign minister reported one of the topics of the discussion was the Ukrainian crisis. The minister emphasized the need for Kiev to ensure the rights of national minorities. So that was stated by the Russian foreign minister. And the biggest news coming today is Putin's visit to the capital of Kazakhstan. So Putin flew to the capital of Kazakhstan to participate in the SCO summit. So Xi Jinping will also be visiting this summit, and the Aragon, the president of Turkey, and leaders of Azerbaijan, Mongolia, and Pakistan will be too. So this is very interesting news. Putin and Xi Jinping will be meeting, and we'll see if anything comes out of this. Obviously, I'll keep you updated on this. This is breaking news, and tomorrow we should have more insight of what happens here. We've got some news coming from Moscow. So the head of uh, Roscosmos, sorry if I mispronounce any of these Russian names, Yuri Bosov has approved the schedule for the creation of the Russian orbital station, which will be fully completed in 2033. So Russia seems to be still spending a lot of money on its space programs. The contracts have also been signed for the construction of the station itself and a new spacecraft to fly to it. So, very interesting news coming from Moscow. We've got news coming from the Pentagon, America, that the Pentagon has stated that they consider it acceptable to use American weaponry for strikes on Crimea. So we can expect in the next coming days that we could probably see some, I don't know, Russian aircrafts being blown up in the airfields here by American like HIMARS or American just weaponry in general. The White House has also stated that Biden does not suffer from dementia or any other disease or anything similar. So the White House is ensuring the public that Biden is healthy and can run for another 4 years. Um, the first Congress Democrat has calls on Biden to step aside from the presidential race. So, Texas Congressman Lloyd has become the first Democrat to call on Joe Biden to step aside after his poor debate performance with Donald Trump. So very interesting, and we can expect more people to follow Lloyd in this in this statement. So very interesting, and we've also got pretty big news coming from Lithuania. So Lithuania has actually started purchasing dragon teeth. So if you don't know what dragon teeth is, it's like a block of stone, and it's laid in like hundreds, and it stops like tanks and armored vehicles advancing. And it will also be purchasing anti-tank hedgehogs. So these are all things to stop an offensive from happening, and this is going to be um, outside of the city, the capital city of Lithuania. So this comes obviously, the capital city of Lithuania is very close to Belarus. So, and Belarus has Russian like military in it, so this is probably why. The Russian embassy in Estonia has lodged a protest over the disband of Red Army soldier stones in on this island, which I cannot pronounce. So around 300 Soviet soldiers are buried in this Estonian village, so local authorities have decided to re-enter the remains and dismantle the gravestones featuring the five pointed stars. So if you can see in this image, they've decided to break all the stars and remove all the stars and stuff. So very I don't know what to even say about that. But coming from Russian training camps, so if you can see in this video here in your bottom left corner, if you can see here, so these are Russian soldiers training, and the most important thing here is the guy with the drone jammer. So a couple videos ago now, um, we saw um, the first of these drone jammers. So they're massive like backpack things that you put on your back, and apparently they can jam drones about 200 miles away. So huge progress, and apparently now every like probably squadron of or battalion of Russian forces will have at least one person with this drone jamming backpack. So this is pretty huge advances. And we also gotten images from on the bottom left corner that if you can see this anti-defense system of Russia, and you can see to the right of the vehicle is this jammer backpack too. So this is becoming more and more common into the Russian army, and it's becoming introduced in the frontline soldiers rapidly. So very interesting. Obviously, it's going to start with air defense systems first, and then it's going to come to the soldiers and tanks. We got more news that the Syrian and Turkish battles in Syria doesn't seem to be coming to an end right now. If you can hear this footage in your bottom left corner, there seems to be still gunfire that's happening between the Turkish army and Syrian rebels. We also got a new wave of protests in Kenya. So a new wave of protests against the tax increase in Kenya. So demonstrations took place into the most major cities, and authorities have deployed armored vehicles and tear gas. So very interesting. And the last news that we got here in Kenya during these protests, that police actually fired upon the crowd with live bullets. So I did see the unfortunate footage of it. It's very gruesome and very sad to see. Uh, but it's a shame that's what's happening here. And we got some more news that the Indian Prime Minister still hasn't cancelled his visit. So Indian Prime Minister Modi will pay an official state visit to Russia on July the 8th. This will be Modi's first such visit since his party election victory. So So, the Indian Prime Minister is still going to Russia, and they're probably going to talk about a lot of economic stuff. And the biggest news today is actually coming from Zelensky's wife. So, apparently, Zelensky's wife has bought a 4.4 million Bugatti sports car. So, if you can see here, it's all under her name and stuff. So, she has bought this 4.4 million Bugatti sports car. And actually, I forgot to list the last news today. It was actually in London, which I forgot to add. But the British Army is not has stated that the British Army is not ready for serious conflict, and the Navy lacks the ships to deter Russian submarines, according to the Financial Times. So this was stated by the ex-defense minister. So even the ex-defense minister is saying that we don't have enough ammunition stuff to, let's say, God forbids a war between NATO and Russia. It would they're saying that they would probably run out of ammunition straight away. So very interesting, and that's all I have for you for this video. I am non-scene news. I will try and provide you the non-scene news that Western medias and other medias do not show you. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you like and subscribe so you can keep updated on these non-scene news. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I see you in the next one.